Now, header tags are a little bit different. I'm going to go check our time real quick. Make sure. Okay, so we're doing okay on time here. I'm going to try to go another about 30 minutes of content, or 20 or so minutes of content, and then we'll open up the floor for questions and answers. So header tags after title tags are extremely important to your on-page SEO. When I keep talking about on-page SEO, I'm talking about changes you can make to your website so that your website itself comes up higher in the search engines. In the HTML code, like the view source section of your web editor program, your header tags would look like this: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6 with the little caret symbols. That's what they would look like in your HTML code. For example, the H1 tag typically generates the largest font, so it's the most important one that the search engines look at. They will actually look pretty highly at your H1 tag. The header tags act like headlines on your web page, and so I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like. Your header tags should look natural, and they'd be like subheadlines on your pages. So like a lot of sales pages have subheadlines, and even a lot of articles, like to break up the article, because we all know people have short attention spans online, and they want to get the information that they are there to look for. So you want to try to include that information in those headers, so they kind of draws them in to read more of your copy. But by doing so, you want to try to incorporate your keyword phrases somehow. So, for example, I'm a Washington State Cougar fan. I attended the school, and so here's an example. Your source for WSU Cougars gear. That's my keyword phrase. WSU Cougars gear. That would be like my H1 tag. Notice it's kind of big and it stands out at the top. And you can edit this by simply finding, inside your view source section, inside your content. You can also modify this within WordPress in the code view section, in the code view of WordPress. And again, if you need help with this, that's what we're here. That's what I'm here for. So you guys have access to me through email, and I want you to make sure you're reaching out to me to get your questions answered, because I do not want you to have any stumbling blocks. So your source for WSU Cougars gear. Your article would go here, so there's your article, and you have a short couple paragraphs to start off your article, and then you also hit them with another little subheadline: buy WSU Cougars gear and save. So it gets the keyword phrase in there one more time, but this time it goes inside the H2 tag, and so then your article continues there. And you don't have to use all 6 of them. You could only use 1, or you could use 2, or you could use 3, or whatever you want within that article, but it kind of breaks it up. But I'll show you here an example before I jump off here of a great site that does a fabulous job of using this. This is a guy who runs a site. It's a phenomenal SEO guy. This site gets a lot of unique visitors each month, and they have some fabulous content, and it's a site that I actually support and do stuff with. It's a Christian website. So this site, they talk about, is the Bible true? They talk about notice how they're using their keyword phrase in their various sub-headlines. And you can actually size your H1 and H2 tags so that they are not the exact same size. And I'm just pulling up this site just so you guys see an example of a fabulous way to use your header tags and how it kind of breaks up the content. So you notice here, that kind of draws people into what they're going to find on each paragraph. So like my WSU Cougars gear example, that buy WSU Cougars gear would be here. Their keyword phrase on this page is the Bible true? And that's the only keyword phrase. Notice that in their title tag. Notice that in their URL structure. Notice that right here. That's the only keyword phrase they're trying to focus on, and that gives you the best results possible. So I definitely want to show you that, as an example of what I meant by the header tag example.